Okay, so today I want to show you two different options. One is the Waterbomb base. It's a triangle that has these flaps. It's used to make the water bomb or the balloon. It's used to make tulips. It can be used to make a lot of different things. The other is the crane base. It's a square or a diamond, depending on which way you turn it. Again, the same flaps. It's used to make the crane. It's used to make lots of different flowers. Again, it can be used for a lot of different things. The reason why I'm bringing these both up today is because I've had so many people tell me how difficult it is to fold origami based off of books or even videos. Part of that problem comes from a lot of these sources will say, start with the Waterbomb base, start with the crane base or bird base. And if you don't know what that is or how to do it, you can't get started. So I want to show you how to make these. Not only that, I want to show you 3 different ways to make these. So there's lots of different ways. Each one works different for everybody. So we're going to start, I think, with our Waterbomb base. I had a piece of paper here. The way that I learned from my grandmother and what she told me is the traditional Japanese way of doing it is to start with your paper with the pattern side down. On this paper, obviously, it's the same on both sides, but you'll start pattern side down. You'll fold your paper in half into a rectangle, and then you'll fold your paper in half again into a square. Now, this is where I found most people tend to get a little bit confused. If you look at what you folded, you have a little pocket. When I teach this to people in my classes or in therapy, I refer to this as the Pita Pocket. I don't know what its official term is, but you'll see there's this little pocket. And then what I tell clients to do is to stick their index finger in the pocket all the way up to the very point, and then to press down the edge to the inside edge. And what that's going to do is it's going to turn, let me get back to here, it's going to turn your square into a triangle. So when you do that, it's important to line up those center lines and then crease it. And that'll give you a triangle. Then you flip it over and you repeat as if this edge is closed off. So what I like to do is set it on the table and then turn up that flap almost like a little fin. When you put your finger in that pocket all the way to the very point, it's going to open it up, and then you can take that top edge and smush it on down to that center crease, flatten everything, and it'll make that triangle with those little flaps, also known as the Waterbomb base. So that's one way. You can also do that for your bird base. Only this time, what you're going to do is start off by folding your paper in half into a triangle. Crease it. You're going to fold it in half again into a smaller triangle. And you're going to repeat the steps that I just told you in terms of opening up the Pita Pocket, putting your finger all the way up to that very point, and then taking your outside point and connecting it to the opposite point. And you can see when I do that, it takes it from a triangle shape, opens it, and turns it into a square shape. And just like we did before, you flip it over. It helps to hold up your paper or fold up that flap, and it looks like a little shark fin on this guy. And again, you're going to stick your finger all the way to the point, open up that pocket, and you're going to flatten it off. And what that's going to do, sorry, I'm having a hard time lining mine up. You can flatten it off, crease it, and it makes that diamond or square shape with the flaps. And this is your bird base or your crane base. Now, you can make these again the way that I have noticed most kids in American schools in particular being taught origami. So what you do for that is you fold your paper in half into a rectangle. Then you open it up. After creasing it, you fold it in half in the opposite direction. And you crease it. And you open it up. So you'll see you have like this little plus sign. And you flip the whole paper over. And you fold it in half into a triangle. Crease it. Then you open it up, rotate it, and fold it in half in a triangle again. Then you pick it up, and you're going to hold these top two triangles. So it's, I guess I refer to this as an upside down triangle. You get your flat edge facing up, your point facing down. You grab your top two triangles, you slowly kind of rotate them in together. It creates this plus sign. It's kind of like an angelfish. And then you just put each flap down. One goes left, one goes right, and you've got another Waterbomb base. So you can see it's the same as all my other Waterbomb bases. So you'll notice what I did was I started off by folding it into rectangles, flipped it over, folded it into triangles, and then smushed it together. You can do the same thing in order to make your bird base. So again, with the pattern side facing down, you're going to fold it into a triangle. You're going to open it up and fold it into a triangle again. Crease it. And you're going to open it up, flip the whole thing over. You're going to fold it in half into a rectangle. You're going to open it up and fold it in half in the opposite direction. Leave it folded in half, pick it up, grab your outer triangles, rotate it together, and just like before, one goes down, the other goes down, and you've got your bird base, same as all the other ones that we made. This is a nice fold because this way makes the bird base, but here's a cool trick. If I open the whole thing up and I take what's kind of like this little point that forms a tent and I push that down, I can turn it into the Waterbomb base. So when you have paper that's the same on both sides, this is nice because you can correct it and change it up. Finally, I want to show you the new way that I learned to do these things. And this one's a lot of fun. So, you're going to take your paper and fold it in half into a rectangle. And you're going to crease it down. And then what you're going to do is one edge where that crease is, you want to take that, you're going to take the bottom edge and fold it up to the uncreased edge. So we're basically going to make like a little half triangle. And we're going to crease that down. Then we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing with the opposite edge. We're going to fold it down into like a little triangle. And then what's cool about this is then when you look at the bottom, you see it kind of makes this Z shape. You're going to just take that big pocket in the middle there. You're going to open it up. And just like we had to do the first technique I showed you, you're going to just bring together those outer points, squish them down, and look, you got the bird base. So let me show you how to do that as the Waterbomb base. You're going to take your paper, fold it in half like a triangle, crease it down, and then you're going to do the same thing. This case, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our outer points and we're going to fold it to the center point, crease it. We're going to flip it over and take our other outer point and fold it into the center. And before, just like before, we still have that pocket. So just got like a little bit of a point. But we're gonna open it up. We're gonna take those outer creases, those outer edges, and bring them together. Make sure they're kind of lined up as well as you can. Crease, and voila. Isn't that crazy? I just learned this one and it kind of blew my mind. So I have just shown you 3 different ways to create a water bomb base and 3 different ways to create a bird or crane base. Hopefully this will help you when you come across instructions that say start with the bird base or start with a water bomb base. Now you'll be able to do it. Thank you. I hope this was helpful.